Hi there, I wanted to do a quick video on the experience of no body. This is another follow-up video, and this one addresses a few queries, but also a conversation that I had with someone who asked me to elaborate further on this. This experience still happens for me today. My near-death experience certainly was a full experience of the no body, where I transitioned out of this physical body into what I refer to as no body, or my everythingness. And so I had a conversation with someone about what that's been like for me since my near-death experience, which happened February 9th of 2008, so 4 years ago now. I have flickers of this all the time. The way I describe it happening is, I'll give an exact instance of what just happened recently. The other night I could not sleep. I got out of my bed rather than resisting trying to lay there with no sleep, which happens to me often at 3 a.m. for some reason, and you hear many people mention this too. I got up out of bed and I came into the living room and I sat down on our sofa. Quiet, no sound, no lights, no TV, just very dim background light and just myself. And as I sat down on the couch, I immediately felt myself in the most calm state. I do meditate, but this was different than meditation, and I wasn't doing anything to create this. Not that you do anything to create anything, you're not a doer, but what I'm referring to here for those of you who meditate was I wasn't doing any breathing exercises. I wasn't trying to go into a meditative state. I sat down on the couch and immediately had this knowing that I was different. And I lifted my arm up and held my hand up, and it was just as though feel the whole arm. I could have the experience of knowing that it was there, yet there was no arm. I did this for several minutes, and then I experienced my leg, and I did the same thing. I lifted the leg up and moved it about, and there was no leg. I could feel the feeling that would go along with a leg moving and lifting, and the muscle tightening and all of that. I was experiencing all of that, but there was no leg. Now, I've had this many times since my near-death experience. I've had this, I'll never forget, I was still in New Zealand at the time and sitting on a beautiful granite bench, and the bench was solid. And the children were running and playing on the beach, and I was sitting on this granite bench, just kind of taking in the beauty. It was too cold to swim, so I knew I didn't really have to keep direct eye contact with the kids. They were playing and running, and everything was fine. So I really just kind of was taking the scenery in and just enjoying it without having to be mother watch hawk, if you will. And I was with another friend who was wandering and collecting shells. Actually, there were a few of us there. And I just was so peaceful, is all I can say. Again, it was not a meditation. I was not trying to go somewhere or do anything. So I certainly don't want people to, once again, take this and go and try and recreate it for themselves. I was feeling and becoming my surroundings, is the only way to describe it. Again, it's just this beautiful feeling of connection with everything around me. We had these beautiful trees on the beach, Pahutakawa trees, which are just gorgeous, and the sand and just everything, the smells. It was all birds all around, just beautiful. As I'm sitting on this granite bench, not paying attention to my doingness, I apparently began to rock my feet back and forth, as I often do. I'm not a tall woman, and any chair that I sit in tends to allow me to have room to swing my feet, and so ultimately that's what I began to do. A few minutes later, I'm just again enjoying all of this. My friend comes up and she just stands there with this look of complete shock on her face, holding all these shells and just staring at me. And I thought maybe, I don't know, a bird had gone to the bathroom on me, or I had gotten sunburned. I didn't know what to think. I really didn't. It was profound, the look on her face. And so her look caused me to react and get back into my presence, or out of my presence, if you will, into my body. And all of a sudden I felt this hard feeling where my feet had been rocking. And I just looked at her, realizing what had happened. And she came over to me and she sat down on the bench and she went, "I just cannot believe I just saw that." So what had happened was I had become so connected with everything that that granite underneath of the bench was not there. It was just not part of my experience. And in so, the rocking happened. The rocking happened. Again, you read about people who have experiences like levitation, or people who can bend spoons, and the mind wants to go to, what are they doing? What are they doing? That's so cool. I want to do that. All that's happening in the apparent story is that there is a knowingness that there is no granite under that bench. There is no separation, and therefore levitation is possible because there's nothing to levitate. There is no spoon, and so bending is nothing more than an illusion. And that's simply what happened for me in this no-body state. But for once in very few times of my experience, someone else witnessed it, which was beautiful. And I felt blessed in that, because I didn't need validation. There was never a need for that, but it was simply to be able to share it, with somebody else. Yet if she had not walked up, I probably would not have even recognized that it happened. So, you know, there's no coincidences in this, and that no-body feeling is a beautiful experience, and I feel grateful that I still have it at various spaces in my experience today. Unpredictable and unplanned, and certainly not something that I can get to. It just happens. It just does. So wanted to share that, and I will sign off for now, and thank you for continuing to follow the journey. Until next time, thank you.